We're on.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and open up the Warrenton Board of Alderman meeting for Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. If you would, rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item will be the consent agenda.
We have the regular and executive session minutes from October 5th, 2021.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, and who's that?
Steve.
Oh, thank you. Seconded by Alderman Cullum. Roll call vote.
Alderman Deloy is absent. Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. Next, we'll be hearing from the public. If you have any comments, we ask that you please come to the podium, state your name, and we'll give you 5 minutes to speak. Not seeing anyone, we'll move on. Next will be Board of Alderman comments.
I'd like to say congratulations to the Lady Warriors for softball team for winning districts and heading to sectionals this Thursday. Wish them luck. Also, for anyone that is needing some help, tonight you can go up to the high school and buy yourself an FFA student for 8 hours to do some work. So let's go up there and support the FFA and buy a few students. What do you say? Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks. I thought it was going to be the first year I didn't have to spend money, but you had to bring it up. It's the first year
My
kids,
wife's going there, so I thought you might as well go.
That's the first year my kids aren't in it. They usually cost us a lot of money, it seems like. No, they actually do great. A lot of the business go up there and have fun with them.
Yeah, it's a great event.
You'll see some of the kids flexing and everything else. It's kind of fun to watch. Any other comments?
Nope.
So I'm going to kind of skip my comments because I'm not feeling all that great and I'm about on the verge of losing my voice. So you guys are spared tonight. Next item will be ratification of underwriter and acceptance of the G17 disclosures. Ms. Howard. Promise I'll try not to cough in the mic.
Got me a little faster than I was expecting.
Sorry about that. Sorry, but not sorry.
No problem. Okay, so I assume you all know me from your revenue bonds that we just finished recently. Now we're working on the tax increment financing. Basically, because the project is completed, the terms of the redevelopment agreement forces the city to issue tax increment notes for the developer to hold unless you refund well, at this point, unless you repay the developer for his loan within just a few months. And if you did the notes, the rate would be 6%. And in 12 months, if you haven't done a refinancing of those notes, the rate goes to 8%. And in addition, the redevelopment agreement requires that the city make a contribution of some of its general taxes above and beyond what's required as part of the TIF statute. There was an additional compensation from the city to make sure that the developer got paid, so to speak. So given that, and the fact that interest rates are very low right now, and based on an initial analysis that I made of the revenues, that the revenues should be sufficient to support bonds, we decided, the staff and I decided that we should go out for a request for proposal. There's no charge to the city if there was nothing feasible that came back, but it was worthwhile going out and seeing what was out there, and if we had a possibility of doing the refinancing, or repaying the loan, I should say, right now with bonds to avoid all these bad things I just mentioned. So we just got proposals back like a week ago, about a week ago.
not quite.
We had 3 proposals. One of them was not particularly good. It was almost exploratory, but two were very good. One was from Piper Jaffray, and the other was from Stiefel. And the proposal from Stiefel is definitely the best. And I'm going to be recommending, well, and Brandy as well, we're recommending that you proceed with the engagement of Stiefel. I think the main highlight of their proposal, there's several things that make it pretty good, but the main thing is that their interest rate, which is not firm, I'll talk about in a minute, the interest rate in their proposal is 3.625%, including their fees. The rate came out to be approximately 3.9%. I'm showing feasibility. I haven't run all the feasibility analysis, but the rate could probably go as high as like 4.5% and still be feasible. Why do I mention that? Because the Stiefel's proposal was based on rates at the time they submitted the proposal. And it's kind of like the revenue bonds. We don't lock in the rates until all the documentation is done, and then you'll have at one of the council meetings all the documents that you approve, including a contract for the sale of the bonds, and that's the day when the rates are finalized. So rates have been going up a little bit. I'm just being very cautionary. It is possible that the rate could rise, and it could be quite a bit above the 3.62%, but I'm fairly confident that it will get done at a rate that'll make it feasible. The only other thing I might mention that I think is pretty important is that their proposal is based on their having all of the documents and having the opportunity to review all of the information about the TIF district and the viability of the projects and making sure the revenue's coming in as expected. So there is a slight chance that it wouldn't get done. However, my experience with Stiefel, they have done a preliminary analysis. They have taken it through their credit committee on a preliminary analysis. And my experience is that Stiefel does a great job on getting these done. So I'm fairly confident. Their fee is contingent on completion of the transaction. So even moving forward until we're at the point of actually executing contracts, if something happens bad and we're not moving forward, you wouldn't incur this fee. The only other thing I have to add, unless you have questions, is that the plan is to have the sale early next year. We have all the documents to put together. I mean, we could rush and try and get it done this year, but we're already, bumping into the holiday season. So we thought, okay, make sure we've crossed all of our T's and dotted all of our I's. I was going to say that backwards, dot our T's and cross our I's. Then I realized I really should say this right. But so we're going to take our time, do it right, and have a sale in January. Any questions?
No.
Oh, in front of you is a resolution to approve the selection of Stiefel as the underwriter. They're required to do, again, it's like the revenue bonds, they're required to make certain disclosures to you under the Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board in a letter we call the G17 letter. And so it also authorizes the mayor to sign that letter. But the resolution itself doesn't say the letter's right or wrong or anything. It just acknowledges that you received it and you're going to sign it. And then as far as the engagement of Stiefel, it's all contingent on documents. So it doesn't really obligate you to anything except moving forward. And with that, now I will shut up unless you have a question.
Any questions? I think we're good. So the next step will be the resolution number 335. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, second by Alderman Quarter.
Recorder?
Yes. Go ahead and read it if you would, please.
A resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, selecting an underwriter and authorizing certain preliminary actions in connection with the proposed issuance by the city of its tax increment revenue bonds, Warrenton West Redevelopment Area, RPA 1, Series 2021.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
The resolution passes 5-0 with one absent. Thank you, Ms. Howard. Next, we'll hear from City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening. The first thing that I have for you tonight is there will be a bill later on the agenda, but this is what we had discussed a couple meetings back about the appointment from the city administrator, making the appointments of the city clerk, the chief of police, building commissioner, all those appointed positions. And we've taken those out and redid the code so that a way it is the city administrator would provide a recommendation to the board and mayor. And so that changes later on the agenda with a bill.
Any questions on that?
No.
Good. The next thing that I have for you tonight is the trash bids. So we went out for bid for the trash hauling since we're not going to be renewing our contract with Meridian as of December 31st of this year. And Grace Hauling came in as the low bid. This is my recommendation. We had 4 different options this year, from doing the same as what we're doing right now, where it's just trash pickup and they provide with a trash tote, and it goes all the way up to the option 1 where you get a weekly trash pickup, recycling, a bulky trash pickup monthly, and yard waste picked up monthly. My recommendation would be option 2, which is you get each resident would get weekly trash pickup, weekly recycle pickup, a bulky pickup twice per year, so once in the spring or fall, however we work that out. And then it would also provide them with a trash tote and a recycling tote, and that would be at $16.50 per month, which is an increase of $6.80 a month.
So I will say, speaking with Brandy on this, an idea that was kicked around, and I think it's probably a good idea, the bulky pickup, be able to span that almost to 4 times instead of with this contract, with coordinating maybe opposites to that of the citywide cleanup.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know it's not exactly what it is, but I mean, it does help provide cleaning up a lot of the bulky items that are on the yard. If we can do that twice a year in coordination of opposites, so it's quarterly, we'd have probably an option to be able to clean up the city.
Right, we could include that
in
in,
more than what we've ever offered before, and I think that'd be good.
yeah, we could include that in our budget for next year and do it twice, and then that way it's basically every quarter, like you said.
Randy, is that, we're looking at about a $7 a month increase, is that correct?
Yes, sir. $6.80.
We are getting recycling, bulk pickup, and then trash tote and a recycle tote, correct?
Correct.
So it's
To every
going up
resident.
$7 a month, but these are the things we're adding. Okay.
Right. Currently, all you get is a trash pickup each, once a week,
Okay.
is what's
I
currently
think
out
it's
there.
okay.
And then I had the senior discount. I'm asking for a friend. How old is that?
Thanks, Larry.
I would have to go back and look. I wanted to say that it's 65, but I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to go back and look at the contract.
Oh,
Look at Jack.
okay.
It's Jack's age.
The other
Just
thing,
asking for a friend, like I said. Right.
the other thing that I'd also like to mention is we did multifamily dumpsters as an option this year on the trash pickup. So I would actually want to, I want to make a recommendation that maybe we get away from that as city staff. We have always, in the past, businesses would get dumpsters and they would just contact the trash company and get it themselves and make those arrangements on what size they want and make the arrangement for that pickup. And we've been doing that for multifamily, like for the apartments. The places that have toters would still remain the same. It would still go through the city. But I would ask that maybe we change the multifamily and let them get those dumpsters on their own and run that as the same way we do with the businesses.
Yeah, I think several businesses are doing it on their own, aren't they?
Right. If you are okay with
We had a
that.
discussion with one of my folks, and yeah, I think that would be a burden off of us and make them feel a little better because they can negotiate whatever the prices they want. on
Exactly.
that. So, yeah, I like that, though.
Any opposition to that?
No.
And I'll just say it up front, and I'm probably there again. I'll take the heat on it. There's gonna be people that think we should go with whatever option, and I get that on a personal note, but remember, we're trying to come up with the best option for everyone within the city. So I think the option 2 probably is the best, and will probably fit most people.
That's based on that trash survey that was sent
Right.
out too, so.
Right, we sent out the trash survey, and I believe there was like over 300 people that responded to that.
Lot,
And
yeah.
a majority of those people wanted recycling, they wanted bulk pickups, so that is something that people are wanting.
I think that and the complaints that we've seen on different things, I know a lot of it was service-wise, but some of it were the options that we don't have anymore either. So I think that those two combined, this is a good choice. Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to award the trash bid to Grace Hauling for option 2, the low bid.
So moved.
Second.
How did you get that,
I'm not sure.
Jaspering?
Okay.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Jaspering. Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
The last thing that I have for you tonight is if we could schedule a work session on Monday, November 15th at 5:30. That is when Truesdale is able to get with us and we can discuss their growth study that
Can you look up that date real quick, Alderman Schultz? Is that a feasible date? You're messing with deer season. I don't know that that's going to be an option. Hey, for you, it's not.
Second week in November is over.
For a lot of people, it's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be out of town, but
Well, let me know if that does not work for the majority of you, and then we'll get that.
5?
Okay.
The 5th?
The 15th.
15. Oh, yes.
And that's at 5:30. It's a Monday before a board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Monday of opening weekend, basically.
after, yeah, right after, yeah.
Do you,
I'm sorry, thank you.
no, would you totally like this to give you an answer now? No.
Yeah, let's pick a different date.
If I was to give you an option now, I'm telling you, I'm taking off work to go, and I'm probably not going to be
All
here.
right, I'll go back to the NASA for another date.
I hate to do that to them, but they probably don't realize that date either.
You probably don't either.
I'm sure they don't.
That's all that I have for you tonight.
You may be right. Maybe they're not hunters. We may get crucified for being hunters. I don't know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll hear from Director of Operations, John Struckoff. I'm sorry.
Good evening. First thing I have for you tonight is the monthly admin report. The big highlight here is we hired 12 people in the month of September. That leaves us with 1 open position in Public Works and a few positions at the pool. I believe everybody else is full.
Wait, say again?
I believe everybody else is full.
I liked hearing that. Can we, let's record that, just play it back.
For now.
Yeah, from
We're
where
very
we
blessed
went
to have
from.
the crews we have now. So, any questions on that?
Twice as many hires as every other month.
Feels good.
Great job, guys.
Yep.
Any other questions on that?
No, I don't think so.
Next thing I have for you tonight is a few items that we're going to put on gov deals. We got a few old trucks out of Public Works, a couple old police cars, some stuff out of the building at the old pool we still have. Any questions on any of those?
No.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you that option of the 97-gallon natural gas, my wife would love that.
Right.
She'd probably tell my kids, look at that. You guys can't waste all the hot water.
We got gov deals.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do we need approval on that, I guess?
Any questions?
I think we have
What?
to approve it. We have to approve it.
Yeah, no, I know. But any questions as far as the items?
No.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the list of items to be sold.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Cullum. Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
Next item I have for you tonight is the half-ton trucks bid. We were notified on October 4th that Don Brown Chevrolet canceled our order for the 2 Chevy trucks that were approved on July 20th. They said it was due to further semiconductor shortages. Due to the pandemic, Missouri state bid actually bid out Chevy and Ford, so we could use the Ford on state bid as well. So this is the state bid for Ford. We would like to have this approved and hopefully not get trucks canceled this time. And that would be through Joe Mockins Ford. We just need approval to approve them to hopefully get some trucks at some point next year and a half.
Is there any difference in the bids?
It is a little bit more than what the other one was. I'm talking maybe $1,000. It's still under budget. Yep. The budget was $52,000.
So are the things we're selling going to make up for that?
Yeah, what to say?
I knew it was coming. I thought I just asked. I knew it was coming.
Well, I'll let you decide when you look at the pictures on Gov Deals. We don't buy new stuff very often, and the stuff we're selling needs to go. So
Used hard.
I don't think it's going to cover it.
Any other questions on that?
Oh, I remember.
All right, I will entertain a motion to award the 2022 Ford F-150 pickup trucks in the amount of $49,694. The state bid with Joe I'm never going to say that right. What?
Joe Mockins.
Ford.
So moved. Second.
Was that Jaspering?
Yes.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, second by Alderman Jaspering. Roll call vote.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
Last item I have for you tonight is the property liability and crime bond renewal. It takes effect on November 1st. We originally got quotes from Tri-County Agency. The original amount that you have in your packet is $204,130 for property and liability and $645 for the crime bond. Julie Myers is here tonight. She actually just got an updated quote for us, and it's actually for the property and liability. They quoted at $188,306. So she just brought it in tonight, last minute adjustment on the amount. So if you have any questions, she's here to answer them, or I can answer them if you have any questions on any of that.
I don't have any questions. Anybody else?
Going down. No.
Yeah, never going to fret or ask questions
Sign
of
it before
that.
she gets out.
I'll entertain the motion to renew the property and liability insurance in the amount of $188,306 and the crime bond insurance in the amount of $645.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Jaspering, seconded by Alderman Quarter. Roll call vote.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum. Yes. Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Finance Officer Dana Belaska.
Good evening. You have before you a discussion on some budget adjustments for last fiscal year. So there'll be a bill a little bit later on in the agenda. But those budget adjustments are for the refund to the MoDOT for the loan on the interchange that we put in. Last December, we sent them another $2 million on top of the normal payments to reduce that debt. Technically, that requires a budget adjustment for additional expenditure last year, so that is in this document. The other one is just another $400 related to some lien fees in the mid fund. So just to make you aware and see if you had any questions related to that budget adjustment, but it will come up a little bit later in the agenda.
Any questions on that? Nope. I think we're good.
No question.
Next, we'll hear from Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks.
Good evening, everyone. You have a copy of my monthly report. A few of the highlights. The 8 homes on Hawthorne Hills, or Hawthorne Hollows, are under construction. They're going down on Hawthorne Hills. Bennington Place Apartments on Arlington Way is under construction. We had a groundbreaking event for Farmers Mutual insurance building located on South Highway 47. That's under construction. And we had a ribbon cutting for the Collective store located in the outlet mall.
What is it at the Allen Mall?
Collective store.
Oh.
Put up.
Maybe a little small restaurant going in down at the mall area.
Yeah, there is. It should be open soon.
Sandwich shop or something?
Yeah.
The new smoke shop in the old, I guess it was the Amico or Texaco?
The BP.
BP.
That has opened. They haven't had a ribbon cutting.
They're not going to have
or
it,
anything
okay.
yet. Any other questions?
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from the building commissioner, Mike Cross.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have my monthly report.
Questions on that?
We've got more progress up there at the apartments over there. We had 4 new buildings turn in permits for another 46 apartments over on the North Service Road. Getting a lot of infrastructure work done up on Pinckney. If nobody's been by there, there's a lot of construction going on.
It is. I've noticed that.
So we did all sewer testing last week. That all passed. Now we're doing stormwater this week and for the next month.
Mike, how far out is that? 6 months, 8, depending upon weather?
January, February, if the weather holds out. There's a lot of dirt work to do up there still yet. We can't even put water lines in the back until they bring in about 6 or 7 feet of fill and get it compacted. So that'll be a bit.
Are they rearranging that or actually having it hauled in?
No, that's all rearranged there on site.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll hear from Chief of Police Larry Elliott.
Good evening. The only item I have for you tonight is my monthly report, if you have any questions.
I do not.
I do not.
And then, let's kind of have a question, kind of a statement. We switched over to digital yesterday on our radio system. Did they get to you guys too, get it programmed?
We're still on Sheriff's Net right now because they haven't got us switched.
So far, it's great.
Good deal.
We've been able to get out. We've been doing testing yesterday and today. It's a totally different world now.
Forward to it.
I do have one question, Chief. Are we still out of Facebook jail? In out of trouble?
Yeah, as far as I know, we're still up. I try to keep that to only the bare minimum of direct police-related items, so.
Chief, on the new radio system, can you elaborate what it, to help a layman like me a little, just the simple, short story on it?
Sure, so forever and a day, the whole city was under an analog radio system that I believe was put in last updated, I don't know how many years ago. It was never designed, from what I've been told, to provide 100% coverage for the whole county. It was like the best that they could do. Recently, with the CARES funding, new towers were constructed, new equipment was purchased, new walkies and car radios were purchased, and then yesterday they cut over from the old analog system to the digital system. And then
help with the coverage.
Right.
Okay.
Well, anything going from analog to
Let's
digital.
not say there's no, but there will be less, and they're going to they'll be able to work on them better.
Gotcha.
But so far, it is a world different than what we've been used to forever.
Fantastic. Good deal.
I find that every time we say, yes, there won't be any dead spots, then there's dead spots. So let's not jinx ourselves. But no, to add on to that, I think, our dispatch services done remarkably well trying to integrate and work with each agency. And they've been having meetings on a regular basis once a month just to find the dead spots and see if they can find anything. And I think this system's going to help them a lot to try and bring a lot of that out and cut down on some of the liabilities for officer injuries due to not being able to, or hitting a dead spot where they can't actually get out with the radios. So it's a pretty huge deal. It's just not one of those ones a lot of people are going to know about.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where,
exactly.
you know, kind of tell everybody a little bit about what it was, so thank you, I appreciate that.
There's so many little features, though. I hate to say that. With the radio, that's kind of nice.
I think that going forward, they can, like, all these features can be turned on and expanded, from what I understand. And
I mean, it's something as nice, if somebody, which, in law enforcement terms, or in any EMS, when somebody keys up accidental, or if there's an open, what they call an open mic, these radios will actually tell you who it is. So you can say, okay, I know where that person's at, maybe it's a problem or a situation. Sure. We've never had that capability before. We're trying to guess and see. Now it's right there and apparent, and you can pinpoint where they're at. It's real nice.
That's good. Good news for our officers in emergency.
I agree.
That's good.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Bills ordinance. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 69-21.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, second by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance amending the budget of the city of Warrenton, Missouri for fiscal year 2020-2021.
Entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 69-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Cullum.
An ordinance amending the budget of the city of Warrenton, Missouri for fiscal year 2020-2021.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that gets stuck sometimes. Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 70-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, and I'm sorry, who did? Cullum, thank you. And seconded by Alderman Cullum.
An ordinance amending section 110.260, 110.300, and 110.320 of the municipal code related to the city administrator's appointment powers.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 70-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Quarter.
An ordinance amending section 110.260, 110.300, and 110.320 of the municipal code related to the city administrator's appointment powers.
A vote?
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 71-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz and seconded by, I'm having a problem over on this side, Jaspering. Sorry, guys.
An ordinance accepting Grace Hauling's bid for residential waste collection services, authorizing the city administrator to negotiate the final agreement with Grace Hauling, and authorize the mayor to execute the final agreement.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 71-21.
So moved.
Second. Jasper can have it.
So was it, first one was Cullum?
Yes.
Okay. Motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
An ordinance accepting Grace Hauling's bid for residential waste collection services, authorizing the city administrator to negotiate the final agreement with Grace Hauling, and authorizing the mayor to execute the final agreement.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum.
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with one absent. And I will entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, seconded by Alderman Crump. And before I do a roll call vote, I will say that's the fastest we've gotten 2 aldermen from tonight on the last one. That's excellent. Thanks, guys. Roll call, or all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes win it. We are so adjourned. Thank you.